before we begin the next lesson, we shall begin with corrections of our previous lesson. And in our previous lesson, we were looking at finding radius when circumference is given. Lesson 2, correction. We have this question here, and we were given 11 as our circumference, and our formula for finding circumference is here. We began with the 2 pi r equals circumference because circumference was given. So we began by saying 2 pi r equals circumference. We came down and we substituted. We had 2 times 22 out of 7 representing pi, and then r remained because it is the one you are looking for, equals circumference, which is 11 centimeters. We went down. If you multiply 2 times 22, you get 44 r out of 7, which is here, equals 11 centimeters. Came down and we removed 7 from down. How do you remove it? By multiplying it on either side, like you are seeing, and then you simplify it. So by 7 here we got once, by 7 once. We remain with the 44 r equals 11 centimeters times 7. Came down and we divided 44 on either side. By 44 here, also this one by 44. We remained here with r. When you came this side, we divided. By 11, you had once. By 11, we get 4. So when you get this, we still have 7, and we came down with our 7 centimeters out of 4. By 4, we still divided by 4 once. By 4, 1 remained 3, and gave us our radius as 1 whole number 3 out of 4 centimeters. We had this number which had 4.4 as our circumference. 4.4 was our circumference. So we were given circumference and we were asking for the radius. We brought in the formula for circumference, which is 2 pi r equals circumference. We substituted 2 times 22 out of 7, representing pi times r, equals 4.4 centimeters, which was our circumference. We came down and multiplied 2 times 22, we got 44 out of 7, equals, we made this, we got a vulgar fraction, which is 44 out of 10 centimeters. To remove 7, how do you remove 7? By multiplying it on either side. So when you divide this, you get 44 r equals, I multiplied 44 times the 44 centimeters times 7, I got 308 centimeters out of 10. Again, the next number to be removed was this denominator here. You are also supposed to multiply it on either side. When you divide, you will get here 1, 1, and then here you will get 440 r equals 308. We had to divide either side by 440 because it is the coefficient, and that is what was done. 440 r out of 440 equals 308 out of 440. When we divided, we got 7 out of 10, and this 7 out of 10 we had to write in a decimal fraction, and answer is 0.7 centimeters. Those are the correction for the previous work of lesson 2. And here today we have lesson 3, and we are going to look at something else, and we are still looking at circumference. So, my dear candidates, we are going to look at this today. We are still in circumference, and we are going to look at more about circumference. Okay? So, question 1. We have our example 1. So here is our example 1. The question is, how many revolutions of a wheel of a car 35 centimeters in diameter make in a distance of 4.4 centimeters? Before we begin answering this question, there is something very, very important that you should know, and that is a revolution. What do you mean by a revolution? I will illustrate here how a revolution is. A revolution will begin from this point and rotate up to this point. Actually, a revolution is one complete turn. One complete turn. So, this revolution here, it can, if you look at this circular figure here, in mathematics you can also call it a circumference. 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 So from here up to here, in circles, we call this a circumference. And at the same time, remember, I said from here up to here is called also a revolution, one complete turn. We can say one complete turn makes a revolution, and this part on a circle is called a circumference. Why am I emphasizing this? I'm emphasizing this because I want you to get the similarity between the revolution and the circumference. Okay? So, one revolution, after looking at this, one revolution is equal to a circumference. One revolution equals circumference. Okay? A revolution means a circumference. As far as mathematics is concerned, a revolution is equal to a circumference. So here the question is the same as how many circumferences of a wheel of a car 35 centimeters in diameter make in a distance of 4.4 centimeters. I'll make my illustration here. I'll make my illustration here. That is the beginning point, and this is the beginning point. That is my distance. From here up to here, I will call this to be my 4.4 kilometers. Okay? And this is my wheel of the car. This is my wheel of the car. That is the beginning point. So they're asking you that how many revolutions from here can this tire make up to here? How many of them can it make? In actual sense, how many circumferences of this tire, of this wheel, can it make from here up to here? And the diameter is of 35 centimeters. Okay? So if you want to get the number of revolutions from here up to here, you are going to divide the distance, this distance here, 4.4 kilometers, by the circumference of this wheel to get the number of revolutions from one point to this point, making a distance of 4.4 kilometers. So we shall say number of revolutions equals distance, which shall abbreviate as D, out of circumference, which you shall put C in brackets. And in short, we shall say number of revolutions equals distance out of circumference. Number of revolutions equals distance out of circumference. Now back to our question. The question is, how many revolutions of a wheel of a car, 35 centimeters in diameter, make in a distance of 4.4 kilometers? The formula is number of revolutions, which they're asking for, equals distance out of circumference. Do we have distance? Yes. The distance is there of 4.4 kilometers. Do you have the circumference? No, we don't have. But we have the diameter, which you can help us get the circumference. Okay? So we have the distance, which is 4.4, but we don't have the circumference, but we have the diameter, which can help us get the circumference. So let's first get a circumference by saying circumference equals, remember it is diameter which is given, so circumference equals pi d. Circumference equals, we shall use the pi of 22 out of 7 times the diameter of 35 centimeters. By 7 once by 7, we shall have 5. So this is 22 times 5 centimeters. Okay? We shall multiply this 22 times 5 centimeters, and we shall have our circumference as 110 centimeters. Okay? Let's get back to our formula now. Number of revolutions equals distance out of circumference. Do we have distance? Yes, it is in 4.4 kilometers. Do we have the circumference? Yes, we have got it. But now look, our distance is in 4.4 kilometers, and our circumference is in kilometers, and our circumference is in centimeters. So you will not just put here kilometers and then here centimeters. No, make units to be the same by changing these kilometers also to be centimeters. So we shall have this and say we have this kilometers. Let's get this. We have kilometers, hectometers, decameters, meters, decimeters, centimeters, millimeters. And we say 1 kilometer is equal to how many centimeters? 1 kilometer equals 100,000 centimeters. So 1 kilometer equals 100,000 centimeters. What about the 4.4 kilometers equals 4.4 times 100,000 centimeters. We shall come down and form a Volga fraction, and this will be 44 out of 10 times 100,000 centimeters. This and this will go, and we shall remain with 440 centimeters. So class, we have got our distance in centimeters now, and our circumference is also in centimeters. So you will come down now and find your number of revolution by saying number of revolutions equals, what's the distance? The distance was 4.4 kilometers, but remember we changed them into centimeters, and we have 440 centimeters out of the circumference, and we got our circumference as 110 centimeters. So centimeters and centimeters will go. That is why we made the units to be the same. Okay? We made the units to be the same because we wanted them to go. But if they're different, it could be hard for them to disappear. I think you know this one here. The 0 will have to go with the 0. 11 once. By 11 here, we shall have 4. 11 0, 11 0, 11 0. So here we shall have 4,000. Now here, the last question. Rolled a drum of diameter 42 centimeters. The question here is, how many times will he roll to cover a distance of 66 meters? How many times? That one is the same as how many revolutions, the same as the revolutions. Okay? It's the same as this. If we ask you that how many times, that's simple asking you how many revolutions. Okay? So don't get confused when you see this. So thank you for listening. Be good children and practice this work as we move on. Thank you.